Calibur V.
Hello again, this is Subcell here and you're watching SupGamez Reviews, and this is a review about Soul Calibur V. And first of all, I really should apologize. In my last review I said something about the first review in 2012 to be about Skyrim. This however isn't that, but don't worry, I promise the next one will be about Skyrim.
Fight.
To kick things off, I want to say that this is the first Soul Calibur I've ever played in my life. I was therefore expecting it to be impossible to make any sense at all of the story. I was expecting the story to go like this. Shamizu tries to fight the mighty evil fiery dragon ninja, but he needs to Goriyashukutu and Flubbertie the big Yuri 4. And then his brother comes to tell him that hope is lost and that they should head to Urukakashima in Fantasy Calibur world.
Patroclus, now tell me your answer.
Luckily, however, the story in Soul Calibur V isn't that difficult and actually very accessible. Easy to get into. It's about Patroclus, who has to fight the Malfested with his Soul Calibur. However, Nightmare stands in his way with the mighty Soul Edge. The complaint I have about the story though is that it isn't very interesting or compelling. This is partly because the story is mostly told through storyboard pictures with some voices added to it. Sometimes you will actually see real cutscenes, and I have to admit they look nice. I just wished they would occur a bit more often. But enough of the story. This game of course is about the fighting. In case you haven't noticed yet, this is the fighting game, which means you will fight one-on-one and try to beat your opponent half to death with the most ridiculous and spectacular moves. This fighting can be done in story mode, arcade mode, in a custom setup against your friends, and also through Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network. Sadly, I wasn't able to record any online gameplay since there wasn't anyone to play online with just yet. But the game is great in any other of the modes. The fighting is smooth and enjoyable. It seems like it doesn't really have much content to offer, since it's just about the fighting, but there's actually quite a lot of depth to be found in the combat. It will take you a lot of time to figure out each move for each character, since there are a lot of characters and a lot of moves. And then you will have to use that all in combat. People who have paid attention to the gameplay on screen have probably already concluded that I'm not very good at this. And if you have, you'll be right. I suck at fighting games. But luckily you can adjust the difficulty so that it matches your skill. The fighting is therefore great, really good. But sometimes it occurred to me that an enemy hits you again and again and again, and in that process you won't be able to do anything to stop it. And that can be very frustrating, because it can even go so far that you are actually KO after all those hits from your enemy. Luckily this doesn't occur very often, and it could also just be me who has this problem, because I'm not very good at fighting games.
Fight.
This game may be all about the fighting and almost nothing else, but that fighting is extremely well done and a lot of fun. To give you just that little extra content, there's also a character editor, where you can edit the existing characters right up till the smallest details. Overall, this is an absolute must-have for fans of the series, and definitely worth checking out if you want to try something new. It isn't flawless, but it doesn't do a lot of things right. Soul Calibur V is a seriously good game. Look at it this way. If you like what you see on screen, then it's probably worth the money. The visuals look great in HD and the gameplay is smooth and responsive. Don't expect a great story, but what you can expect is a lot of fun from the fighting. My next review will be about Skyrim, and I hope that by then I will have managed to get my new microphone working, so that I can record my voice a bit better. So, I'll see you next time.